Hello, welcome everybody to Forex pairs analysis video. Just did the breakdown on gold and silver, and now we're going to do the breakdown on the other four pairs that we do trade. So honestly, without further ado, let's just get started. Don't need a big introduction for that. Let's go USDCAD first. USDCAD, big rise up, oil crash, coronavirus lockdown, everything. There's a lot of factors in this play, interest rates being cut, etc. Obviously push it higher, then we get the nice little retracement down. Right now it's at a support. And I'll show you what I'm looking for here exactly, but you'll see what I mean when I break it down into lower time frames. Weekly, bearish, and it finished above this support, so that's one big thing too. Daily, same thing, created support. So what I'm looking for actually is, I did talk about this during the week on the trading videos, is what I want to see is kind of a retest around this level, a little bit higher, consolidation maybe, and then a break lower. That's what I think will happen. Obviously a lot nicer than that, but we can see doji, bullish doji, bearish doji, so that's usually an indication for a reversal. So I might be looking for buys down here to continue upwards, test around these levels, and then kind of retest the lows, because this is a break of a support. Usually after a break you get a retest and then a further push downwards, but now let's break it down even lower. 4 hour, yeah, 4 hour, as you can see, found that support. You might get a little push down to start the week. That's one thing I'm expecting. 1 hour, same thing, you might get a push down to start the week. So if I had to do this, it's gonna be kind of iffy on the 1 hour. Let's go on the 4 hour then. Yeah, it's a little bit cleaner. So this 4 hour support, kind of right there, and then I'm gonna put it at the 50 level. Yeah, right there too. I did have a long down here, surprisingly. That was fun. But other than that, you might see like a little retracement lower, create the lower weekly wick, and then I think we're gonna get a push upwards, something like that. And why do I say that? Because we have this break resistance. We never had a really retest. We hit this big support back created in June last month. So we had that retest of the support. We're kind of going to have another pullback, create another lower high from this area, and then push further. That's one thing I'm expecting. That's one thing I do find out that happens with USDCAD. So we'll be playing price action. Let's say the price does open downwards and then continues higher. That's the one thing I'll play on the long, and then also get that on the short eventually. Let's look at the news. News, if you pay attention to gold and silver analysis video, there's a lot of US news throughout the week. Core durable, so Monday to Friday is everything on US. Gotta be careful on that. Yeah, FOMC minutes, advanced GDP, CAD GDP is on Friday, so that's only Canadian news really driving it. Is going to be the CAD GDP on Friday. That was an easy breakdown on USDCAD though, really nothing else for that. Pound USD, same thing, right? This monthly in July is finishing pretty bullish above the previous months. So eventually we're going to see 130 level be hit eventually. I don't know when, but it'll happen. Weekly, yeah, weekly bullish. It's hit this resistance level though. This previous support now turned resistance around like 127, 128 area. Did it hit 128? Yeah, it did hit 128. So this is a big inflection point. There's going to be a lot of consolidation, ranging movements. I mean, it's still in a bullish uptrend. It's based on monthly and weekly and on daily. I do expect a continuation upwards. Maybe we're going to pull down and then continuation upwards. I don't know. I'm going to play price action on pound USD. It's going to be tough. I do expect to hit 130s eventually and go back to like 132 to correct this huge coronavirus move that it had. So that's basically simple for pound. I mean, everything is trending from last week, so you just follow the trend basically. I think Jesse Livermore had a quote when I was looking at the quotes. It's like, you wait for the market to form a trend and then you go with the trend. You either buy it or you sell it. There's no in between. Market has to confirm your opinion and then you have to execute appropriately. So I'm going to wait for the market to confirm my opinion and my analysis, and then I'll execute appropriately. I mean, even if I'm late to the party, that doesn't matter, because at least there's more room for confirmations on that. That's what I believe will happen with pound USD. Kind of have a pullback, continued higher. Not on the monthly. Monthly is going to finish bullish, but see how the weekly finished above these wicks. So next week we might see another little wick down and then like a push higher. That's one thing I'm expecting for the weekly candle, anticipating that movement, just because the daily's finished above support too, or above resistance here too. So it's pretty indicative of where the price will go. Pound news, 5 p.m. That's weird. That's like midnight time. Anyways, Wednesday, 2:30. So usually pound news happens overnight. Yeah, consumer confidence. It's not a lot of pound news to move the market. It's gonna be a lot of price action, probably driven by the US dollar for pound USD. So we'll keep an eye on that. Now this is the one I'm excited to get to actually. Pound CAD monthly. You have this push down, and now this July month's finishing bullish. Kind of have this like little reverse head and shoulders little form into. So you might even get a retest of the neckline going into August and September, and definitely before the end of the year, I'd say. Weekly. Now this is what intrigues me, right? So you have this weekly finish. You have this liquidity grab last week or 2 weeks ago, and then last week you have this higher wick formed on the weekly, and then you have a bullish finish. And that coincides with the daily too. You have this little reverse head and shoulders play. And then I think that 170, 150 level me and Chan have been stressing. If it finishes above there, we could easily see a 100 pip move. And that 100 pip move, even if you get like 80 pips out of it, you're pretty good. I'd say that's a pretty solid move on pound CAD. But yeah, 4 hour. I think that's one thing we might be expecting. Like just considering how the 4 hour closed on Friday, you might get like a little pullback. I don't know which level. I do expect it to maybe test this trend line. So maybe 170.90 area. I'll put an alert. So that's not a bad idea. I think I'll put it at 171. A little alert there. I'm gonna put it every time at 171. Just for the fact, if it does, let's say, continue this trend upwards, bounces off here, has a little consolidation, goes upwards, maybe I'll get the alert on the upwards movement, and then I'll just buy it, hold it, and potentially, like I said, 172.50 is a move, even up here on the 4 hour at 173. See price action hit there, and just following how pound is bullish and CAD and USDCAD might be reversing. You kind of have some confluence in that sense. CAD might be a little bit weaker this week and pound might be stronger. So that might push the price of pound CAD up. So we can see it's at a big resistance. Anything above this resistance, easy buys. But what I'm looking for is a pullback. Kind of at this level, continue the trend I had on the 4 hour. If I could redraw it. Yeah, something like here on the 4 hour. So even if the 4 hour pulls back to that level, probably buy it. But yeah, overall bullish again. Buys on that. And then Euro, I guess another bullish. Yeah, Euro USD created the support, had this steady movement down, support created, buying momentum. Weekly, yeah, when it broke out of this range we had called, the last 2 weeks just been on a tear upwards. Like, I mean, 300 pips, 2 weeks, pretty slow and steady, upwards bullish momentum. There are no sells on any of these four, so I'd be looking for buys throughout the week. I mean, that's a pretty quick analysis video. Euro USD, you look at inflection points, you kind of look for pullbacks to buy it. You have to wait. If levels start being broken, that's when you sell. But other than that, it's on a bullish uptrend. So just look for buys. Simple as that. The US dollar, I think they're expecting it to even finish further bearish, weakening in the US dollar. And yeah, you can see it's heading down quite a bit. Might see the 90s level be hit. That's from 2018, I guess, trade war. No, that was pre-trade war. Never mind. But yeah, the US dollar is getting weaker. I think this movement is actually from the Fed rates. I think they're trying to price it in. The Fed and the insiders and the smart money are trying to price it in now. And then when it's released to the general public, it's already inflicted into the prices of forex pairs, US dollars, the commodities, the metals, etc. Ooh, US 30. Yeah, I'm gonna be looking for shorts on this too. Actually, there's one thing I noticed is like this resistance being created daily, finished bearish. So I think the next week you could easily see the market move lower, especially with all the news and the Fed rates. You could see a move to I think the 2500s pretty easily. 1,000 point move, pretty. I mean that could happen at any point on the US 30. Oil broke out of its range. Yeah, it's been steadily rising. But yeah, other than that, pretty much buys retest on USD CAD. I feel like it's gonna retest the 135 level eventually. Pound USD is in a bullish momentum upwards on higher time frames. Pound CAD is about to break this resistance. Just the structure and the formation. I think we're gonna get a low pull back down and then the continuation higher. That's the one thing I'll be looking for there. Euro USD, same thing, bullish. But yeah, no, I mean that was pretty quick and easy analysis. I think I'm gonna end it there. Everything looks bullish, and maybe Chad will have some insights tomorrow or on Monday about those. But he was pretty busy today. I think he went for a hike. Um, Other than that, have a good rest this Saturday, and we'll see you tomorrow for some simulations.